to the U.S. Army presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. We've got 2 weeks of Counter-Strike Global Offensive with some of the best teams in the collegiate scene. I'm Corey Dunn. We're going to be kicking things off for this tournament. It's going to be spectacular. Been a lot of hard work that's been put into play to be able to make this possible. But it's not just me that's going to be putting on this show. We've also got Jonathan O that has joined us here at the desk. He'll be joining us all for these 2 weeks long. John O, are you ready?
Oh, I'm absolutely ready. I'm so excited to be spending these next 2 weeks casting Counter-Strike. It's a great opportunity to get out of the house and really just kind of flex a little bit, show how much we love Counter-Strike, and show how much fun we're going to have these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, for those of you that are wondering, the fact is that we here in the state of Texas, we're here again at the Esports Stadium Arlington. We've gotten our proper approvals. We are also still maintaining all of our social distancing. We're keeping everything as by the book as possible. Even in our control room, we've got all of our proper protocols that we're being following. So we still care about what's going on and how we're handling things. So we're being mindful of those. But let's talk about the actual tournament that we have in hand. Let's deep dive into the format and the prize pool for how everything shakes out. So it's going to be a really good time for this tournament as we look forward to it. So first we kick things off with our prize pool here. And our format as it breaks down. So we've got 28 collegiate teams that have joined us. They're going to be divided up into 8 different groups. What do you think about that? 8 days of Counter-Strike just for groups.
Well, the first thing I think of, Corey, is that hopefully my voice can stick through all these days. That'll be more Counter-Strike than I've ever casted consecutively ever. So I'm excited to do it nonetheless. And really, I think that we'll have a lot of exciting matches to come.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's been I think it's been roughly, goodness, I'm going on probably 4 years, almost 5 years since I've last casted a CS game. So that's something else for you. But those 8 groups, the top 2 teams from each of those groups will advance into the playoffs. That, of course, is a 16-team playoff double elimination bracket where the finals championship Sunday will be on May 10th. The major call out for this event when we talk about format is that all upper bracket rounds are all best of 1. All lower bracket rounds are best of 3. So all teams will get their proper shake at the end where if they're in an elimination match, they'll at least have to lose out in a best of 3. We wanted to ensure that we also have a really awesome broadcast, which all matches are broadcasted on twitch.tv/esportsstadium. But we also wanted to keep that competition integrity throughout the entire tournament as we move forward. Pricing breaks down like this: $3,000 for first place, second place $1,500, third place $500. A $5,000 prize pool goes directly to these teams that are competing in the tournament. Pretty nice little check there. We've actually asked a couple of the teams what would they do if they won the tournament, and it's pretty funny. Some of them said, of course, they would throw it towards their student loans. Others said that they would take care of other teammates as well. Some said that they'd buy themselves a new PC. I mean, the sky's the limit whenever you're thinking about it, but it's really funny. There's a few other comments that I'll hold on to later on about what they say about their what they would do with the winnings.
Corey, to tell you the truth, I'd buy a lot of instant ramen with that.
I think that's a valid statement. I mean, especially in the circumstances we're in. Now, that's the prize pool. That's the format. Let's take a look at the overall, how it breaks down for the next 2 weeks. Again, this is 2 weeks of Counter-Strike nonstop. April 27th to May 4th. Those 8 days are all group play. We'll start from Group A all the way to Group H. We'll break those down one by one throughout each one of them. Stay tuned for all of the times, though, that come in. Each one of the matches, we're going to shift around. We're trying to accommodate. We realize that a lot of these collegiate teams are college students. We are in the same time frame for a lot of exams that are going on, but we've worked with every single team to make things work and be possible for them, so that I'm super excited about that. Then we look at it. We go into playoffs, May 5th to May 10th. Double elimination bracket, so a lot of matches to be able to pan through all of those. We're going to see a lot of Counter-Strike, and by the end of it, we'll know a lot about all of these teams and these players that go through. May 10th, again, as I mentioned earlier, Championship Sunday, and then this wouldn't be possible without the U.S. Army Esports Club, or the group. The reality is we'll have them facing off against the third-place team right before the finals. They'll be facing again against the third-place team, the U.S. Army Esports CSGO team. Are you looking forward to seeing how well the U.S. Army team plays?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think the interesting fact about the U.S. Army team, they put together this a little bit earlier, mid last year. Heard a lot about it. Them putting together multiple teams. They're doing games like Overwatch and other various areas. And so I really love to see their Counter-Strike team. We'll actually be joined by 8-Track, which is one of the commentators. His name is also Corey. Corey Bergstrom is there in Fort Knox. He'll be commentating with us, of course, remotely. We'll bring him into the whole mix of things as well. But if you want to stay tuned with everything that's going on, make sure you head over to brackets.esportstadium.gg. All the matches are going to be laid out there. Okay, we're covering them all one by one, so we'll keep those matches getting updated. Now, we've talked about a lot of the things that are breaking out for the format style and the schedule, but what about the 28 teams? As we take a look here, what are the 28 teams? Which one of the teams are you looking out for?
Well, personally, being a UTD alumni, I've obviously got my eyes on the Comets. A fun fact about them, they are the Comets, and if you flip that backwards, you've got T-Mock, the school mascot. So, Corey, we also see UTA Esports. They are just down the road from us, so a lot of Texas representation. And then we see UNT as well as all these teams across the nation. Corey, I know you're at a UNT alumni yourself. How are you pulling for your team?
Well, one of the things that I think is awesome about this, as you mentioned, UTA themselves. I'm technically a UTA alumni as well. I went to UTA for a semester, so I guess that counts.
Oh, wow.
I guess that counts. But they are just down the road. But what's awesome is they actually boot camp here in our facility. They leverage our team rooms for a bunch of variable different games, League of Legends, Rocket League, and so forth, even Counter-Strike, that they'll come into our venue and practice in our team rooms. But as for University of North Texas, back to your question, one of the things that I think is also they're used to this place as well. But more in particular, they play in the Collegiate Rocket League tournament that happens in this venue. They have been in the past 2 years. They made it into the Final Four for those days, and I'm pretty excited because more than likely we'll see them again. Hopefully I didn't jinx them, but we'll see them again in the next Collegiate Rocket Leagues that we may be doing in the future. But one of the main teams I think we all know that we're looking out for is Rob Morris University. The RMU is definitely a top contender at this tournament, and they will be in our first series of matches. As we take a look at Group A's bracket, you can see right there on the very top of your screen, an upper round one, Robert Morris. They have a bye. They have a bye in the first round, so that means they'll advance already into upper round two, which means they puts them in their very first best of one to be able to make it in. They only have to win one match today to make it into the playoffs, and that's just how things shaked out for this particular group. St. Clair and Texas A&M, they're going to be our first matchup, not only of today, but for the entire tournament. And we'll see where they kind of fall into that list of things. So, John, kind of talk me through a little bit, one of the things that you're looking forward to and seeing for all of these teams, not necessarily just St. Clair and Texas A&M and RMU.
Well, since it is a best-of-one format, I think something we can absolutely keep our eyes on is there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable picks for some teams. So I would think that we will see a lot of vertigo in these upper round matches, just as that's usually the map that no one's really that familiar with, and if one team's super familiar with, they will absolutely try to get it at their least. But I think throughout we'll definitely try to see more Infernos, more Mirages, as that's, I think, the general common denominator, so to speak. But in this match specifically, St. Clair and Texas A&M, I think we have a pretty even matchup. When we look at the standings in CSL, Texas A&M is 6-6, and St. Clair is 8-3. So I would say that's the difference between having a good day and a bad day. So this first round matchup, I think, will be pretty solid.
So we've got some really great matches that are going to be coming up, not only today, but throughout the entire tournament. So that's going to bring us into our first matchup. We've got St. Clair. They're going to be facing off against Texas A&M. It's going to be a great way to kick things off here in just a moment after the break. We'll have that first matchup, and we'll see where things kind of shape up. Are we going to be on in Vertigo, as Jono had said, or we're going to see other types of maps in play? I think they'll probably ban Vertigo if they don't feel comfortable with it, but we'll see. We're going to learn a lot with you there on the audience base. Of course, be able to check out twitch.tv on the chat, and then we'll be able to talk with you there as well. So, St. Clair facing off against Texas A&M and the very first matchup of the U.S. Army presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. And we are back. Welcome to the U.S. Army presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. We are heading into our first matchup of the tournament. We've got Texas A&M facing off against St. Clair. This is going to be a good one. I'm ready to get my feet wet into the first matches. I'm going to be very blunt with everybody. I'm going to learn a lot about these players just at the same pace. For most of you that are out there, we're going to learn about each one of these players and see how good they are, what their tendencies are like. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the really best entry fraggers as well as some of the best oppers. I'm basically an aggressive opper myself, so I'd love to see how these players play.
On the flip side, I'm a little bit more of a supportive kind of hang back, call the cues as I see him, leaning more towards the IGL myself. So we'll have to figure out how these players play, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so let's look at the schedule for today and how this shapes up. As we've got some really good matches as we see here. You got St. Clair versus Texas A&M. Our next matchup, which will be directly after, currently scheduled for 3 p.m., will be Robert Morris facing off against the winner from St. Clair and Texas A&M. That is, of course, a playoff advanced matchup. And then we head into our final match of the day. We only have 3 matches today, which is beneficial for all of us to kind of get our feet wet in the overall tournament. But then we've got the lower bracket finals, which is the loser of the first match versus the loser of the second match. And whichever one wins that best of 3 will then advance to the playoffs to join the start of those 16 teams in the double elimination bracket. But let's introduce these teams. Let's take a look. You got St. Clair College. You've got Con W, Cookie. You got Gub as well as Scherze and Thrasher. We got some really good players that are going to be joining us here in this tournament. Then we go on the flip side for Texas A&M. You've got Bird Box, or goes by Bird, Kraken, ER, and Spoon. So a lot of good players that are here that will be joining us. So that's going to bring us our St. Clair versus Texas A&M. And let's take a brief look at the pick bands of how this kind of shapes out here. You mentioned earlier they might end up with Vertigo. Don't think that happened. I think a lot of people do go back to the fact because Vertigo was just recently updated again. And I think actually for the best, right? I think Vertigo actually the new changes that they've made at first glance look really good. So, but the reality is St. Clair said, you know what? We haven't played it that much. Let's go ahead and ban that one first. Then after that, Train was banned. Then Nuke, Dust 2, Inferno, which leaves us all the way to the very end. We will be on Mirage. I'm a huge fan of Mirage. If I have to solo queue, Mirage is the way to go. Again, for those of you that are just tuning in, this is a best of 1 in our first matchup. But we are not in the lower bracket round. We are actually in the upper round bracket. So we'll take a look at those. What do you think? What do you think about these map picks? We're going to make some lessons learned here.
Just looking at it, it was kind of the flip side of what I had mentioned. We would think like
it's gonna happen.
The gimmicky map, so to speak.
Yep.
We're actually the very first ones we go. So we see Train and then followed by Nuke immediately, and at that point we're almost at like the fundamental CS of what we were kind of talking about. You see Dust 2 going there, then followed by Inferno, and then Overpass and Mirage were the last 2 going on Mirage. I think we'll see a very slow, methodical, almost trying to fill each other out. I think that's what the name of the game is here. They're trying to take their bread and butter, get to know each other, and get to see how they play.
Let's go and hop into the game. We're already kicking things off. They pushed up already inside of the first bomb site, and right out of the gates, this is how the pistol round's shaking up. Pretty much a traditional Pug-style game as they push there in towards that B bomb site. And we'll get you some game audio here in just a second as their gunfire is going back and forth now. Has gotten picked up 2 so far, but he's the last man standing down to this 1-on-3. He's got 7 HP, but again, he's picked up 2 so far. The only way he's going to be able to win this round is by being able to pick up the ace here.
It'll be a crazy one to say the least, and all it was is a body shot. Texas A&M getting the first round on the board with 3 guys left standing. So looking pretty sharp for them already. The fast speed hit is the matchmaking strat, as we would always say, Corey, as you were even mentioning, looked like a pub match. All the players just instantly just beelining, trying to get in there, and did not work out for them. So we're seeing a big buy here from Texas A&M. On the other side, we're seeing a full save there for St. Clair.
Oh, they're backwards.
Yeah, so let's. So currently, right now, we need to kind of eliminate our some voice channels from here, so we can hear just the game feeds here, and then make sure that we're good on our team names. So right now, you've got Red Spoon, which currently says he plays for St. Clair. So as we look at it, you've got Zapper, who's inside of mid in the connector, waiting for Com. Back over in the mid point there, getting pushed up here by. That would be Scherze. He's going to get picked off with a deagle. Let's go and swap over to that perspective over there with Com.
There we have Com trying to make his way to the B apartments. Still the bomb is down in mid connector. That's going to be quite a trek. It looks like he's not even going for it at this point. Trying to pick up some guns. Try to make the round as expensive as possible on the side of the CT. Slowly starting to make his way back through mid. It looks like he's actually going to take his chances through apps. Slowly making his way. There's actually no one there to contest him. And I'm not sure if they even see that he's coming this way. So he might be able to find himself a few picks here, and that could be the opening he needs. Be able to get himself a gun. And it can really do some damage. Making some noise there. It doesn't seem like anyone hurt him. Now is starting to make his way through market. He's going for the full flank here. All the way around. No one suspects it. And that is going to be the first one. The Q is there. The rotation's got to come in. He's going to find himself a FAMAS. He's going to stick with... No, he's going to go with the FAMAS. He's got to get the bomb. It looks like the CTs are actually running. Doesn't seem like he has enough time to get the bomb and plant. That's going to be a lot of money that he's going to lose out on from the round bonus.
He's still going to try.
He's going to try nonetheless. And there it is. That's going to close it out. Just in the nick of time, St. Clair able to take the second round. And now we're going to see guns come out for Texas A&M.
Yeah, so there you go. Now we've got the scoreboard accurate for you. You've got St. Clair there on your left side. They were on the counter-terror side. They were the ones that actually picked up the first round. One of the things that I mentioned earlier in the pre-show is the fact that Texas A&M, to my knowledge, what was reported to me was that they actually formulated their team there on NACCS's Discord channel. And then, so at that point, that kind of tells me they're probably going to be very pug style. You're going to see a lot of defaults, some standard rushes. They're going to be questioning who's going to be doing what nades for a little bit. So there's not going to be full-on executes that we'll see for some of these games. But Spoon picking up the first headshot there with that AK. And there you go. Sometimes, though, pug styles work. Default setups work whenever you can win those one-on-one gunfights.
And that's exactly what we saw there, Corey. Spoon getting the frag. And now they're getting a mid position. Looks like they're trying to swing on over through connector. They've got the sight, just making sure every corner's clear. But there is still one more on site. He's taking down two. It's taking down three now, and they're running through A main. Having no luck yet, but they're trying to find the picks. The team is rotating on over, so they've got to make a move soon. Kraken trying to hold, knows that the player's there. Double stacking, they got to be careful. They don't want to go both at once. And now the whole team coming for the flank. One coming up from stairs. That's going to leave it all onto Bird Box, and that's not going to do it. So 3 rounds for St. Clair here, and they've got plenty of money to get some guns across the team, as well as Texas A&M does not.
So we'll be taking a look at how these games are shaping up. I mean, really, this is a prelude to the matchup against RMU, right? So RMU right now taking a look at this exact match as well and how this one's playing out so far. St. Clair has done very well. They've been able to maintain and being proper on how they've done their buys. You actually saw in the, I think it was the second round, we even saw an M4 from one of the players. I think Scherze actually had an M4 in his round earlier. But this could be a detrimental round. They've bought all their grenades. They've got everything they need. And you can see on the opposite side is an eco round. They've got a couple Tech 9s and Deagles as they start this out. Yeah, Zeris, that is peeked out here. Now, this is going to be their face-it names as well that we'll be playing with. And so he's going to hold down with his AWB, but calm. Last man standing again. Just lurking about. Of course, we saw him just a moment ago over there inside of Palace. He's going to go ahead and wrap back away. Actually, I apologize. Kraken is also live, so it is a 2-on-4.
And then that's how they're going to take it. So we saw in the first round they had no luck with the B site, and it looks like Scherze is actually in a position to potentially hear them if they make any noise, but they're going to take it slow all the way through apps. Concon's already in position if they try to jump out, so this is going to be a true test of skill and aim right now. They're going to have to jump in, basically get instant headshots on these players.
Let's take a look at Con real fast, because this is going to be a perfect angle for him as they fall into his crosshairs. That is, as to see him be able to fall in. There's one, and let's see if he can be able to pick up the second. And no, he sprays and prays and doesn't pick it up. And now Calm, last man standing as always, he's going to get eliminated. But right there, the goal for Texas A&M was just to take away a couple of the weapons there. And they were able to only take away 2. And Con, the rest of the team actually played very smart on that. They basically held back and made sure that they didn't push in any certain areas where they would lose a weapon, and then at that point, allowing Texas A&M to be able to save those those M4s.
And as you see here, just as you mentioned, full stock on the side for St. Clair. Everyone's got a kit other than Con, all the weaponry you could ask for, but Spread Spoon once again finding 2 picks in mid. That's an opening. Last time we saw them do this, they tried to make it through connector. They're going to have to make their minds up. The bomb is still in spawn, but Con finding another one. They have got the A site, but they still have to get the bomb. That is 4 down, Corey. Just as you were saying that it was looking a little murky, they got their AKs, they got their guns, and they found the picks that they needed. So well spread, as well as ComCom is having a great round for himself. But Red Spoon is really the cast for all of these. He's completely flashed. Didn't find me yet, but ER finding the 5th, and it is a clean round for Texas A&M. That is the first round on the board. No one going down. They keep all of their guns. They keep all of their armor. They have great utility now. And now we're going to have to see, this is the first time we saw St. Clair lose a round, right? We're going to see how they try to bounce back. They're going for the pistols themselves, the Eagles, CZs. And we'll have to see, because they've been losing mid to Red Spoon consistently. Red Spoon has been finding pick after pick, and that last round found a 3K, completely opens the map up to them. The only times we haven't seen success is when Texas A&M trying to go for B, and it looks like Comms once again found a pick on A site. It seems like A site has been a little bit of a struggle for St. Clair, but playing slow towards mid, trying to take a B hit with bomb once again is in spawn. We're actually seeing, if you look at A main, 2 players on the side of St. Clair pushing up towards spawn, and they might catch Com running for it, just barely. Gets out of time and books it over into the apartments.
Yeah, just trying to lurk to be able to pick up one. I mean, they're going to take some time. The reality is it's going to be a very tough round to even pick up a single frag on the opposite side. You've currently got, that's Con, who's working his way through market, and you got 2 really big flanks here. He gave away his position, so Con is now who's in a molly waiting for a second. But we'll see. They're really going to be looking for exits here. The challenge is that usually Cat or market is the only way to be able to get out of there. You wouldn't necessarily try to go through apartments to get out. Of course, Com taking a look here, and he's going to get picked off. Quick little tap there from the P250, and both of the lurks are gone, and that's going to be the round coming in for Texas A&M. So whenever you start looking at these types of scenarios, Texas A&M playing very much a pug-style game, but St. Clair wasn't paying attention to their economy, and so just losing one round was so critical to them. And so we'll see what happens after this.
Once again, it looks like a reset's coming in for the side of St. Clair. We've got only one player who's got an impressive gun in the MP9, and also the scout on Con. So they're going to have some angles there, but there goes the MP9. Com, once again, I think it's the 3rd round in a row that he's found a pick on the A site. So he's just opening up the map for his team, but they're taking it slow. They're trying to advance too quickly. Red Spoon probably still holding mid, and ER's got a very forward position. Finds the one player in mid, is able to call that out for the team. Not able to find the hits, however. And now we see another player through Cat holding his ground, but once again we're seeing Texas A&M. It seems like they're finding an opening in A, and then they're rotating into B. Shurzy finding the pick on ER, and now we're seeing the commit over into the B apps. Dropping down now, it is on Con to hold it down with this scout. Shurzy finding 2 coming out of apps, and now all of a sudden this map's in their favor. Now we see Con finding his 2nd for the round. As the CTs begin collapsing on the side, they've got to make a move soon. Red Spoon keeping it together, but not able to keep it together all the way through a zapper, keeping it alive with the MP9, able to find himself an AK, and that is a solid round for St. Clair. They were down, I think, 2 members almost from the get-go. Only had pistols, an MP9, and a scout, and able to walk away on top, and that has to hurt if you're Texas A&M. That should be a 1 round.
Yeah, so they're still in a tough spot. The reality is they need to get themselves out of the current economical situation that they're in. They're hurting a little bit now. Of course, that's going back-to-back rounds, losing, and then seeing if they were able to pick up that round. So their loss bonus is going to be gone after this if they lose this round. So this is a crucial round. And as I mentioned, you're going to see one of 2 things happen from Texas A&M. Either A, going to split up and do default, or B, they're going to smash on one bomb site at a time. So right now they're conflicting, going, okay, I'll throw this smoke. This is where I'm going to throw this nade. You can see that they've kind of spread out, so they're setting up there. And so here comes the traditional smokes coming in across the board. They push in. Great shots there from Kraken to kick things off. He had a really good flash coming in from his teammate from Spoon. And so now they're just exchanging frags back and forth between these. But it is down to a 4-on-4 now.
There we go, the bomb being planted. It looks like ice splash. I'm just going straight through it, not afraid of all. Gets the AWP for himself. And this surely is a done round. It seems like St. Clair is trying to force it out. Ooh, I thought he had the flick there. I was looking at player cams, but it is all on Con. He is stuck in jungle with an AUG. He's got all of it to do. Corey is not able to find a Com, getting that AWP, closing it out, and that is a broken bank on the side of St. Clair. They've got to reset somehow.
Exactly.
You just look at the money. The only one on the team is Hadwick. He's just buying a Max 7 for himself even. I think he might go to the B apps, try to hold a close angle, but now we're starting to see some momentum coming out for Texas A&M. They are looking so sharp. Their A hits seem almost unstoppable. Com just walking in the last couple of rounds, finding a pick. They're running on through it. This time it seems like they're trying to control mid a little more. And once again, they're spreading out throughout the map. So if we see that, it looks like it is Com, and he's finding the fights in on the A site. He's wanting them once again, and it looks like we've seen this exactly before, Corey, where Com finds a pick on A site and then they go B. We've seen it, I think, 3 times now, but it looks like they're trying to play a little bit slower. They've seen now that they don't have any guns. They see that they have the pistols, and they're just trying to pick where they can. Now the bomb's starting to rotate over to A.
That's right. You don't want to lose a weapon here. You don't want to give them the chance. Of course, you got a Mag 7 that's coming out for Hadwit. So, Com, as you mentioned, has done a really good job. He's 15-6 right now, the last I recall. So he's doing extremely well, getting those entry frags and pushing forward. So now it's left up to Concon. Only USB, he went completely bare this round, unless he had a couple nades. He'll get wiped out there in the end. 5-4. So we talked about it early. You've got some, some team camaraderie there from St. Clair, but Texas A&M, this roster has been put together, and we'll see what they can be able to do. Sometimes raw talent really shapes up really well for you. If we look back at what you mentioned, you talked a lot about Com. Com kind of reminds me of a very aggressive play style that we see in Stewie 2K. The reality for him is what we're seeing is it's basically showing no respect for these players, just pushing directly in, going through smokes, tossing out flashbangs, being extremely aggressive, and not caring. Whenever you're playing with that much faith, it's a great thing. And a great job there is they kind of get all of their frags and exchanging there. 2 for Com. Com is at 17-6. You've got a couple other players that are struggling, and right now Hadwit trying to find a way to get more kills on the board. He's at 2 at this point in time.
And if you look on the side of St. Clair, Zapper last round bought an M4, and now he's the only one in this round without a rifle. So I think there was a little bit of miscommunication on that side. They're going to have to figure out how to work against these AKs because they are just absolutely destroying that of St. Clair, but that's not going to do it either. Com once again finding that pick on the A site. That has been the moment of this match so far, is Com consistently finding a pick every single time as ER takes another one from it and is just down to Concon and Hedwig, both one on site, and now it looks like the T's are starting to make their way towards B through apps again. We're seeing really just slow, just gunfights. We're not seeing really thought-out strategies. We're not seeing a lot of these deeper plays, but we're just seeing Texas A&M winning a gunfight after gunfight. Concon falling down to B side, and now it's going to be on Hedwig having to do the 1v4. If I'm him in this position, I'm just trying to save my gun, trying to make it more expensive for the T's. But at this point, look at the money on the T side. 10,000, 14,000, 13, 10,000, 9,000. If I'm on the T side, I'm actually trying to find him and get this gun out of his hands.
Yeah, so you can see they're going to be lurking about, pushing already. That's you've got ER right around the corner. Then here comes another player. He's going to get eliminated. That was cracking, and there's the exchange. There's the weapon is taken out of their hands. Just a little quick roll call for everyone. Hadwit is Cookie, and then Zaris there is actually Thrasher. So for those that are curious about the actual players, of course, they're currently using their Face-It aliases, which, of course, we all don't have the benefit of sometimes getting the right alias that we wanted. So we've got Cookie as Hadit, and then Zaris is actually Thrasher. And so that brings us back here. Zapper trading frags there with Com. And that was, again, the fact is I would love to look at the setup there for Com and how many entry frags he's gotten into this game. We'll take a look at the match score at the end of it all. But, man, it has been quite impressive seeing how he's been getting entry frag after entry frag. And so right now you've got Kraken. He is lurking about, trying to completely clear out this side over here. And now he knows that there's one player over here, but he doesn't know that there's 3. There's the flashes out. He's going to see all of them now as Kraken has picked up 2. He sprayed down 1, and here comes the grenade to finish things off. And now it is 5-7. Wow.
What was once 4-0, Corey, has turned into 5-7 in favor of Texas A&M, and it just seems like right now they're playing one game and one game alone, and that's momentum. Com has every time found the opening frag on A site without fail. Last round he got a little bit greedy. He stuck out and tried to get a second one, got picked. That allowed the AK to go over to St. Clair, but it didn't matter in the end. They still picked up the round. Once again, look at this, Corey. They're so aggressive, pushing through the smokes. They don't care. They're finding trades. They're finding connector picks. They're finding everything they need to take this A site. They're getting almost perfect execution on those flash grenades, blocking off Concon. They know he's there. Oh my goodness, even the peek from Com, finding his A pick. That's the name of the game, is finding A picks. They've got the site. You see the bomb is rotating from CT, or excuse me, from T side, and now we see both players on B. They're gonna have to start tailing over. Corey, at some point, you've got to start thinking now, oh my goodness, Com finding another pick. They're saving these guns every round. They're trying to hold on to little money they can. Concon wants to hold on to this AWP. But at some point, you can't just hold on to weapons. You have to win rounds. That right there has to feel so bad. Calm making his way from the B Palace, or from Palace on A, walking all the way through CT, finding another kill, making his way to Market, and then on site to B, finding 3 picks. 22-7, Corey. They have got to find an answer from Calm just clicking heads.
Wow. The fact of how well it really right now, Calm has put the team on his back, and he's showing no respect to his opponent and picking up all of these entry frags. I mean, the reality is whenever you've got a wobbly table and you kick out one of the legs, more than likely the team's going to fall. So we've seen Calm do a great job. But this round, finally, Zapper gets the better of it and gets that first one for them. But man, has it been a long road trying to make this even get to this point here. And if they can shape things up a little bit more, the reality is not only are they playing this and down right now 8-5, they have to get momentum back.
Exactly, just like that, you just see Shurzei getting a little bit too aggressive. Maybe was looking for information. It's still a 4v4, but the gun's in favor of the T side. Zapper once again finding a nice 1D for himself. The A site is clear, so they're looking to rotate through B. Concon finding a pick, and now another pick. They're just walking into it head first, and now we'll have to see how the team handles. So this is the important thing I wanted to know, Corey. This is a round that we're seeing Calm being the first to go down on the side for Texas A&M. It was a 4v5 in favor of St. Clair. Calm goes down, and then immediately everyone else starts to fall behind him. So I wonder what their strategy is. It almost sounds like there was a joke that Thorne said a while ago that it was Kerrigan's calling style would be, Nico, go kill everything. Everyone else just wait. And it almost seems like that's the case. Not to discredit their team. They obviously have great stats on their side, only 7 and 9 on the side of Kraken. But despite that, it looks like they're trying to go for a fast B hit here. We see only 2 players on the side of St. Clair going to B, and they are just running. They're holding W. Now they're dropping down, changing it up a little bit, and they've had a lot of success from Connector, so I don't blame them for going here. And it almost looks like they're going to have to go off guard. That's the only player on A site. The other guy's going to be coming through jungle, now going through CT spawn, and they have got the site. They're going to get the plant. I don't even know the last time we saw a contested A site from St. Clair.
Now, that was impressive. I mean, you saw how they wrapped around. They went with full confidence all the way through tunnels to Connector into A. Just really, again, showing no respect and just going right in. They're not timid. They're executing completely on each one of these moves. And now Concon going to get eliminated 9-6. It is, wow, what a half. And take a look at that scoreboard there in front of you. Watching how that kind of panned out. First 4 rounds went to St. Clair, winning the pistol round. That is what's going to be huge going into this second half. St. Clair needs to pick up this pistol round to start off this game, just to give them, again, they need that momentum back. The only benefit right now for St. Clair at this point in time is that Calm cannot be aggressive to get those entry frags unless he decides to start to lurk about and be aggressive on a certain side and pressure them. So we'll look at it and see where he's at this point.
So we've got Kraken with a decoy and also a P250. It looks like they're throwing out a smoke onto A. They're trying to block off Connector, and there goes the flash out. Now they're going to try to take A main, jumping out from Apps as well, or Palace, excuse me. One coming from CT. They found the trade. They've got the site now. The question is, are they going to try to go for a quick plan, or are they going to try to get control? It looks like they're actually taking it back through CT. They're planting, and now they're going to have to try to take the pick from Connector on 3 sides of Texas A&M.
So right now you've got all right now working over by the Connector jungle area, see if they can open things up, but they're all coming through that narrow corridor, but there's not really any opposition that is there, and so Spoon can just go to town. Pew Pew picks up 3 in the round, but Zapper is still alive, still lurking about. Now it's down to Calm and Zapper. Zapper seeing if he'll be able to get that quick pick. He has picked up the USP. Calm applying a little bit of pressure. He does not have a kit. This round is basically over at this point. And he'll go ahead and get eliminated there. But great job by Zapper. It almost seemed as if Spoon was going to eliminate the entire T side. But Zapper said, wait a minute. I'm still in spawn, and picks up a couple there himself and then finishes the round. 7-9, St. Clair picking up a second pistol round. We'll make note of that for later on.
Exactly, Corey. Great point. And something else to mention here is the momentum. That's the thing we've always been talking about, is that they're starting with the momentum on their team side. He finding a 4K. That last round was absolutely winnable on the side of Texas A&M. They kept poking into one guy, and he kept finding those singular picks. They had 3 guys against one. All he had to do was hold the bomb and have the other 2 shoot the other guy down. But we are in the next round nonetheless. Round 17 here for Texas A&M, 9-7. And it seems like Xeris is trying to make some noise on mid, trying to be annoying with this MAC-10. He knows that there's one mid. However, he doesn't know there's one On the flip side, he finds one in mid, however, and now he just runs straight into connector. Shurzay following up with the Galil, and now they've poked another one through mid, but they just didn't see it. So that is the information from Calm, knowing that they're coming through connector, and you see the team starting to rotate over. It's a hit now. You see all players coming through, and that is a great pick there from Cookie. And that, is not going to quite close it on that round. There's still one more left in Red Spoon Core, and we saw a lot of damage from him last round.
Yeah, so Spoon, the last man, he's going to get eliminated. 9-8 now. St. Clair picking up the second round here in the second half. This is what they need. They need to be able to get back. The CT weapons are an expensive set of weapons, but they are going to go ahead and buy. It looks like they did a full save on the other side. You see full head armor. The only one is Kraken. Kraken and Bird both do not have head armor there, but of course with against an AK, which is almost a full set. The only one is not is Cookie with the Galil. So they're going to be going in without head armor. You've got an AUG being brought out. Now I'm curious to see how that one plays out. Sometimes you get so comfortable with the weapon. Sometimes you can change some things there. All right, as we look at the overall layout, seeing what this default setup looks like, Con playing inside of Palace. You've got Cookie, who is working over there towards the A ramp, making sure there's no aggressive pushes. Then you've got Zapper, I believe. Zapper is actually there inside of mid, and Shurzay is right there with them. So they're going to be teaming up here for most of these parts of the round. So no pushes yet, nothing, no picks. But again, you see a very, very passive play style coming in from Texas A&M.
Yeah, and if you look here, the bomb's made all the way up to Texas. Oh, with that. Might not work out for him as there's a trade in jungle and connector, and now all of a sudden the T's are falling like flies. Kraken's able to find all the picks, but he's come down against one, and that will close it out there. So that is the 10th round for Texas A&M. That momentum, Corey, that's the biggest point we've been talking about. Momentum, momentum, momentum. St. Clair had the pistol round. They got the immediate follow-up round, but now look at their economy. They don't have a great buy for themselves, and the momentum has shifted onto the side of Texas A&M. They've got themselves a full slew of guns. They've got themselves a full slew of utility. They've got 3 kits to their names and only pistols on the side of St. Clair, and that's an immediate first.
A lot of action happening inside of mid. As you see right there, they had an aggressive push. Com picked up one. One of the things I was going to mention before you finish your statement was the fact that that previous round, they were very passive. Texas A&M, they did not challenge any normal choke points, and they waited for St. Clair. At that point, St. Clair was over anxious and started checking every angle, some angles that didn't even exist before, and then they were getting picked off one by one. This round, of course, is a eco round for St. Clair. There was a quick push inside of mid, which could have been detrimental, could have actually impacted Texas A&M, but again, it goes back to the confidence of this team at this point. Shurzay and Con, now it's left up to Shurzay by himself. He's got the bomb. Lots of time to work with, nobody around him at this point in time, P250 in hand.
Yeah, I would love to see a replay of how that mid take happened, but he's actually got the full 8 bomb site. If he knew it, he would just run in there, try to get the bomb down, get some money for his team, but that's going to be the pick from Com. Who else would it be from Corey? The man himself, Com, sitting on 29 frags in round 20 right now. He is absolutely doing everything for his team, but even look at this. Look at the stats across the board. They are all holding their weight. They're playing a great team game, and if you look at those stats, Corey, you wouldn't actually think this game is as close as it is. It's 8-11, and now we've got guns on the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is what we've seen so far is during the gun rounds, we've noticed that Texas A&M have played extremely well, right? You take away the 5 rounds away from St. Clair, the score is actually 3-11. And that's why we're making this statement that we are. That's the storyline that we're sticking to. Is the reality is during gun rounds, during critical rounds, the score right now is 3-11. If we exclude some of the pistol rounds in the first half and the second half. So right now we see how they're playing it, and I think one of the challenges is ahead of St. Clair is just finding those entry frags. But what's happening is Texas A&M are pushing and pulling back and forth, and they're forcing St. Clair to try to figure out what to do. But now you've got Kraken, who's picked up another one there onto Cookie. 3-on-3. You've got that's Thrasher, who's up on top of the bench checking out Catwalk. He's going to see if he can be able to get this challenge here. Welcome ER is going to be coming in here towards the sniper nest and towards window. He's also going to hold that angle. So again, this goes back to that passive play style, not getting overly aggressive, not giving up weapons, not giving up openings. And we'll see what happens there. Beginning Com, though. Com is at 9 HP, and he's currently on the backside of over by the ticket booth and just waiting. He's going to be that one that's going to be able to make the call out. And there he goes. He peeks out after that pop flash. That was his teammate. Now they gave away Kraken, though. They kind of overthought that one a little bit. Now the A bomb side is open. ER trying to close it down a little bit from jungle, but it's not going to happen. 2-on-2 as Com is just going to toy with him for a little bit. Tried to get him where he'd pull off the bomb plant. Did not happen. And so now Thrasher and Scherze versus Red Spoon and Com. And Com and Red Spoon both hurting, and there goes Spoon. Spoon's down. Com picks up one, now down to 1-on-1, wrapping around here. He does not have a kit, and he's going to get eliminated there. 9-11, the first real gun round that we've seen in a while coming in here for St. Clair. As we take another look here, what happened in that previous round. This is inside of mid, picking up a couple kills. But really some good overall kind of gameplay that was happening. We'll take a look. We'll get better at some of our highlights of what we use. But currently scoring 9-11 there. So some good rounds coming back here. But St. Clair just needs to find their way and continue to push forward.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, they had all of the momentum for themselves. Now they've got the guns, and this is where we saw Texas A&M be so explosive last time. So they're going to start getting these opening picks. They're running through mid in connector. They're finding 2 on site. They know one's in jungle, and now we're seeing the rotation. 3 players coming over from the B bomb site. Now the Scherze is going to throw the Molotov into the jungle area. Now knows there's still one more there, 16 health. He's going to pry a poke out. He's all but dead at this point, hoping that his team could get into place, and the bomb is planted. We see one coming from connector, and just like that, the T's have dispersed and found their positions. One going down towards connector, the other one holding into Palace. They're actually doing quite a bit of damage here to these T's, and that's a good opening from Scherze, or excuse me, on Box. That's not going to be enough, though, unfortunately.
St. Clair picking up another round here. We'll see where we're at. Currently, the money looking for Texas A&M. They're kind of questioning what they should do here, whether or not they should kind of partial buy or decide to go all the way. You're going to start seeing the M4s come in. You've got a bunch of them. Yep, they realize the fact that you're seeing AKs come out across the board from the other side, so they go without head armor. And they do have, but the problem is they do not have full sets of nades. They do have smokes. All 5 of them do have smokes going into this round. But still, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to take note of that. Cookie still with a Galil in hand, electing to go ahead and buy grenades. And he also has a Deagle as a backup. So that's an interesting kind of set that he's got there in his inventory.
Birdbox finding off the pick on mid, and Zapper creating this into a 4v5, and that's pretty much the start that they need. They need every little advantage they can at this point. You already see their money. If they lose this round, they're going to be at a pretty hard reset. So seems like the T's, as you've always been bringing up, Corey, the slow, methodical play. They've taken connector. All it takes is a 1 peek from ER to know that they are in connector, and that will show them bomb. And they're starting to push onto this A site. They're slowly making their way in, and Kraken's going to be the first to find him. Sees the bomb as well. That goes down, and now you see the quick rotation coming on over. They've got the site. There's only one guy in calm, and he is being so silent. He needs to pull the trigger at some point. He finds one, and he finds 2. Great trigger discipline there, and that's going to give them the round, and that is exactly what they needed.
Man, this has been a great game as it started to shape up a little bit differently. But, I mean, the fact is Com's now sitting at 33-12, but he had a hellacious first half. Here in the second half, he's been able to pick up a few. We take another look at that, and a great job of cleaning up that round and picking it up. And so, again, we're back here at 12-10. Better replay. Good job, guys.
And something I want to note about that is that Kraken actually was sitting in that position with him. So they killed Kraken, did not expect the second guy to come through, and that's where Com found the last 2 and able to take the round. And now it looks like Scherze's trying to get aggressive on B. He knows he's done some damage. He is hunting him down. He's hearing every footstep along the way, but
Cookie.
all of his teammates behind him are getting cooked, but he finds one. Scherze almost finding a second. A little bit too strong in market is ER. But this is getting to be a shaky round. What was just pistols has now turned into an AWP and an AK, and health almost in their favor. It really just comes down to like 2 shots, and this round's going to be St. Clair's. They're making a slow move onto B. I like what they're doing here. Concon's making his way. He's got the health, and Zeris, he is making some noise in mid. Look at that. They're actually fully rotating onto A, Corey. They've got them deceived. They think they're going to A, and now they've got a B bomb site to work with.
Well, one of the things that they're looking at is that quick retake here. You can see that ER is actually leading the charge, so that way, if anything, they were able to trade frags there. Now you've got Thrasher, who's got that AWP. He's going to be pushing over there, waiting for his teammate to be able to pick up. Still, again, they have so much time. But the problem is, as you look at it, the A bomb site has been completely cleared out. They know for a fact it's B. They're going to have a heavy rotate that's going to happen here. And it looks like they are going to be heading over there towards mid. Thrasher with he scopes in, but he's already too little too late. But he does angle because there's some thunder footing going on there from ER. They're going to go ahead and close off that choke point. Great job with having that molly quickly smoked off, which means he is over there as well. So Kraken's going to go ahead and hold down this angle. This is going to be a tough angle to be able to peek on it. Playing aggressive, pushes around. Now it's going to be down to this one-on-one Concon inside of sight. Is he going to check? He's right. Oh, he sees the edge. Oh, I sees the edge of him, and Concon takes him down. Great job by holding it down by St. Clair. 12-11, just one round difference between the two.
What a heavy round that was, Corey. If that went either way, one team's money was broken, and then in this case, Texas A&M, their money is now in a bad spot. They are on the Pistols. As St. Clair was just to mention, they were on the Pistols last round, and they were able to take it. So now they have got the favorable position. They've got some momentum working for them, and now we see the guns coming on and the Pistols out for Texas A&M. Once again, they're trying to play that slow game. Com trying to get a little bit too aggressive on mid. The strategy of Com, go kill everything, didn't work this time, and it looks like they are trying to make a full stack onto the A site now off of that pick. They found Kraken. Now they're looking towards jungle. They're trying to find ER. ER's poking out. He's taking a lot of damage, but there's a pick. Zapper going down in mid. That's going to be a gun for him, and he cannot win the fight. That was pretty much their one chance to win the round. That's going to be it. Tying it up at 12-12, Corey. We're going to round 25 on a tie. Both teams are going to have some money to work with here. This, I think, is a very pivotal moment. Both teams, not that great of money situations. If they lose one round, for instance, if Texas A&M loses this round, this could very well mean the 14th round as well. But on the flip side, St. Clair, once again, in that position. If they don't find a bomb plan, Concon's got a lot of money, so he can make it a little bit easier for the rest of this team. But the team that loses this round is not favored in the following round, and that is a very big thing to point out here.
The challenge, though, what your statement is the fact is that you've already got Texas A&M that have elected to save during this round, and they went for a full save. That's what we're seeing. They've got $2,500, $3,000 across the board, so they'll be set up for this next round. They're already processing that they may lose this round, and so they'll be able to build off of that as we go forward. They're of course getting dropped one by one now. On the flip side, though, you've got a couple of different players now. They're going to be playing a little bit differently, a little bit more passive. They cannot lose weapons now, as you were mentioning. They've got they pick up the round. It's not going to be able to help them too much with the economy system where it's at. And there goes. They only lost one player in that whole mix as well. And so this will be our first real gun round in a while. 13-12, St. Clair taking the lead. I'm going to backtrack for a second. This has been a huge shift, right? So for a while, Texas A&M, they had a good, decent lead, and then here we are, St. Clair taking it back. So a really great job from them, taking their time, being methodical, playing Mirage properly. And so now we'll see. There looks like they're going to be setting up for a execute pick there inside of mid. Here comes the smokes over the top. You'll see it fall there onto the staircase to be able to block off stairs. And they've got a full kind of setup there. Now a counter smoke coming in. That was a good smoke on the CT side. And they're going to start to be able to push in. But of course you can see over those boxes there inside of the A-bomb site. Com has picked up 2 with the assist there with Kraken. And now it's left up to Concon, so this gun round looks like it's going to go to Texas A&M and tie us up at 13.
Might have got a little bit ahead myself. I think I checked the money before the round ended, so I didn't see the bonus come in. But so to correct myself there, you are absolutely correct. But now Comcom did the work that he needed to. He picked up 2 quick kills, which led to him being traded off for a 3rd. And now we're seeing Concon coming in with the AWP on A main. He's got a lot to do here. The flank was even coming in, not able to find it. Bird Box able to close it out. Now we are at 13-13. We're going into round 27. The money's not great on St. Clair, but Concon will be able to buy guns for his team. They will have the utility they need. They're going to have everything they need this round. And once again, on the flip side, we're seeing pretty decent money on the side for Texas A&M. So no one is really stable right now. One round loss could lead into a bust. So at this point, we're fighting for scraps.
Yeah, Concon was questioning whether or not to buy an AWP or not. This time he elected to go with the AK. He did have enough to be able to buy, but of course you have to be considerate of the final rounds that remain here. Man, this has been a great match to be able to kick off this tournament earlier. For those that are just tuning in, this is the upper bracket round 1 for the U.S. Army Presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. We're in Group A right now.
Oh my God.
Great job by Com as he pushes up and catches everybody. As now you can see Thrasher here inside of mid with Scherze.
God,
And
finds the third for himself. That was a great find there from Com. He just flashes himself through. He says, you know what? I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to do the work myself. And that closes out round number 14 for Texas A&M. They're going into this with all of the resources they need. And now we're looking on the money on the side of St. Clair. At this point, they've got to make the decision. Are they going to force or are they going to play for overtime? We're seeing AKs on their side. It looks like they are going to force everything that they possibly can. This is an absolute must-win round for St. Clair.
yeah, the loss bonus is not going to help them either in this case scenario. And the fact is that they didn't take away a lot of the weapons from the CTs. Bird inside of mid takes off Scherze. There's the exchange. They really haven't been challenging the B bomb side all too much. And now Thrasher on the backside of the site trying to hold his own. Spoon spraying and praying through that smoke, but he gives away his position there. There's also a counter spray. So it's just going to be a back and forth, and this time he loses that battle. Now down to a 3-on-4. They are on a rotate. They're all coming from market at this point from the CT. There's Com on board here. He's 38-16. Goodness gracious. As Bird has done extremely well for himself. He's being a very aggressive operator. He's getting all of these injury frags. Oh, barely misses. And he's trying to be able to finish that one, but it's not going to happen. Down to Com. Down to a 1-on-2.
Look,
Did
the
this
leftovers,
round pay off for him?
He's got the kid as well. He's got to find one more. All it's going to take is one bullet, but Zera's playing it so smart. He finds it. Is he going to have time, Corey?
It's going to be cutting it close here, and it looks like he is going to get the defuse. 15-13. Huge shout out to Bird, though. Bird with a very impressive AWP there, and you see this last bit here, that last moment, he saw the shadow there from the player and then picks up the kill, winning the round. Great control over there, but again, huge shout out to Bird being an entry fragger with the AWP on that retake from the CT. 15-13, game point for TMU, or for Texas A&M.
And luckily enough for them, they got the bomb down, so they were able to get some guns, but pretty much nothing for utility. They've got 2 smokes, 1 flashbang. Flashbang just went out. They're trying to find some opening where they can in mid and possibly A main. But we see there's 3 stacked towards A. There's 1 in cat and then 1 in B. He's actually making the rotation over to A. Looks like he's trying to commit on over to just keeping that site secure. And on the side of the CTs, we see plenty of utility for them to hold the positions they need. So there's going to have to be some crazy shots here. Last round we saw it happen. That's what they needed. They needed to have those crazy shots, but it was able to bird box and Com, able to take it. This is a absolute, I know last round was a must win, but at this point it's win or lose. And you don't want to start off in the lower bracket with Com finding a nice pick towards mid. He's now got 41 frags to his name, trying to spray through the smoke at A main a little bit. Now Zapper's coming through. He might now be the next victim. He sees one towards mid. Com poking out, being aggressive, not expecting him to be there. And wow, finding the advantage there. Had 46 health to his name and stays at 46 health. He is going absolutely nuts. He knows there's another one here. And look at him. He's flanking around. He wants his next kill a little bit too aggressive now. And that's going to open up the A site. And now we're starting to see the T is getting a little frantic. But there's only one guy remains with Zeras. And we see Birdbox with AWP had so much success last round, but he finds a connection in mid. And that won't do it. Birdbox finding the last kill on Texas A&M. Taking it 16-13 over St. Clair on Mirage. Wow. Corey, that was a fantastic game to start this tournament. I am pumped up. You know, we went with the prediction that St. Clair, they had the better record. They had a little bit more stats and a little bit more to their name, but we saw the firepower of Birdbox supporting on the AWP, and then we saw Com just absolutely going nuts. I believe finishing with 42 frags on the server. That is absolutely what you want to see from him.
No, it was impressive to watch there at the end as we were going through the game. I mean, the reality is Com kicked things off in the very beginning of the game. We saw a lot of really good entry frags that was coming from him, showing no respect, zero. And so then when we were watching them push in, then we saw it later on where I was very concerned about Kraken, but the reality is in Counter-Strike, you have so many different play styles that kind of work in your favor. Kraken was able to hold down over there towards the A site for most part whenever they were on the C team, so you saw his numbers change as well. But I'm going to throw it back over to the fact that Bird did hellacious job with that AWP. So we saw a really warmed up team, but it was still a close game. So St. Clair fighting their way back. One of the things we'll be on the lookout for St. Clair is all of their pistol rounds. Remember, they won both of those pistol rounds, and the fact is that Texas A&M were able to come all the way back to get to that point to make it what it was there, but still winning at 16-13. So they're going to be facing off against RMU, Rob Morris, here shortly. Man, this has been crazy. What did you think of that matchup?
Well, really, it was the Com show. If you look back at it, 42 frags, no matter how you look at it, I mean, he put the team on his back. Even though the team all had good numbers for themselves, you saying Birdbox really doing a lot of good work for himself. Hellaciously, I think is the word you said, but 42 frags is 42 frags. They could not find an answer for him. They could not slow him down, and I really think that was the controlling factor because we saw so many times he would just take a swing fight, get one, he'd start rotating over, find another one, and then he'd find a third, and that just kind of broke the system on the side of St. Clair. So they didn't have an answer for him. So they will go up against Rob Morris in the next matchup. And if for some reason that Texas A&M find themselves onto the loser side, we're going to see a rematch between St. Clair. And at that point, I would love to see how they control Comm because it was just the Comm show. We're always going to bring it up. That's all we're saying. It was the Comm show. But really, 42 frags is 42 frags. I've never even gotten half of that in a game, little alone even thinking about counting to 42. So, Corey, I think Comm was the X factor. He was absolutely the MVP of this match, and they have to find an answer for him. Every single time we called out from the beginning, he found a pick on A, he found a pick here, he found a pick here, and that just completely opened up the map.
Awesome. That was a great match to watch to kick off this 2-week-long Collegiate CSGO Invitational. Make sure you check out brackets.esportstadium.gg. Also, you can head over to discord.gg/esportstadium. Join in all the action, to have all the comments. We'll be back. Coming up, we're going to see who's the first team to advance into the playoffs right after this break.